What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. Time for some live thrifting, you guys. We're gonna go. Actually, it's 2 weeks apart. So this was a Saturday morning a couple weeks ago. Amber had some errands to run, so I dropped her off there and headed over to this Savers. You can see I got a little bit of the FOMO and headed up to the door before they were open, and ended up waiting a couple minutes with the rest of these folks. But it wasn't too long before we were headed inside. I'm always curious where people are going, right? This guy is booking it to somewhere in the store. I later saw him back in the clothing section. Right, that's just one of those things where I'm not really a big clothing guy, so I don't know what y'all who are doing clothing find. But I'm sure you guys find some really good stuff. Of course, who wouldn't want to find a Coogie sweater, right? But here I am back at the electronics, going through all of this stuff back here. And yeah, the shelves don't look so good, do they? There's some stuff, but mostly kind of crap DVD players. There's a bunch of amps up there, and there's been a computer sitting up there for a while, and of course a bunch of printers as well. I know that there are things you can do with printers to make money off of them. I generally just leave them alone. And I've only ever found golf clubs once here that were anything worth picking up, so I normally give them a quick scan and then head on. And I took a look at the bags and the shoes as I wandered over to the toys, and I just happened to see this internal frame backpack here. It looks nice on first glance, but I didn't see a label, so I just left it. I don't normally pick up a lot of those, but will do so occasionally if I find one that's nice. What I've noticed is that there's a lot of junk out there, so you really do have to pay attention to the different brands. So normally, right, I start at the left side here, and that's usually these days where they have like all the vehicles, so cars and airplanes and stuff. I'm usually going to be looking for any of the Disney planes figures. Um, those are generally worth picking up. You saw me grab there a Disney Infinity Portal. What you want to look for with those are the Xbox One versions. It might say Xbox One on it, but otherwise there is usually a code starting with like INF. And yeah, those will sell really well. So I normally, on my first pass to the store, anything that catches my eye goes in the cart. And then I'll spend a little bit of time later on before I leave and just go through everything and check the numbers, check comps on some of the things that I had a hunch on. And sometimes I get myself in trouble, right? I'll run out of time and then I'll have to leave the store and just buy everything that I found. I don't recommend that. I have bought some junk. There we go. Oh, look, I remembered to actually turn the camera up so you guys could see what I was looking at. I'm going to continue to try and remember to do that. It's so much easier when you go to garage sales, and you can just look at stuff that's at eye level. But that is okay. We're going to be working on this all winter with you guys. And I really like these figures here, these Star Trek figures, but there's no value to them, honestly. I think there's a couple of them that might have a little bit, but for the most part, they're just not worth it. I think that it's just because they were mass produced, and there's just not as many people collecting them as collect the Star Wars figures, right? So Star Wars is much more popular toy than Star Trek. I think that's a lot of nostalgia, right? Back in the old days, so I learned all of this from the documentary TV show on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us. And so the Star Trek toys, they didn't do action figures back in the day like that size. Mego had gotten the license to do figures, and so they made those that were, I think, 10-inch, 12-inch, something like that. But there weren't the 3 and 3/4 inch yeah, I think that was the Star Wars size that was super popular right back in the early 80s. And Star Trek just didn't have anything like that. So then when Star Trek The Next Generation came out and they made those, I think it's like a 4-inch, maybe a 5-inch figure. They were popular, but never really just nobody had that nostalgia for it, so they weren't buying the new figures as much. And the people who did buy them bought them like a lot. I'm going to grab a Starbucks cup here. I couldn't actually find any comps on that specific one, so I ended up leaving it behind. But right, same rules apply. I always throw them in the cart and see if they're going to be worth anything. So there was lots that were similar, most of them had holiday stuff on it, right? And I think probably this would have been a good time of year to find a holiday one. That was not one of them though. I'm going to pick up a Bakugan case here, and oh, sad day, no Bakugan inside. I don't even know if the case by itself would have been worth it. Maybe $5 to $10, something like that. Maybe more. I don't know. But definitely, if those have even a few Bakugan, they're usually worth picking up. The stores will generally price them at like two, three, four, $5, something like that. And honestly, even if it's full and you get it for like $8 to $10, it's still probably worth it. I've sold cases that were full or close to full like that for like $40 or $50 in the past. So definitely could be a good pickup if you can get the Bakugan. All right, so heading down here to the board games, definitely making sure that Jumanji does not make it into my cart this week. That's definitely not going to happen. And didn't see anything. So I headed over to probably one of my favorite sections of the store these days, the kitchen gadgets. I have been consistently finding some pretty good things over here. And honestly, you guys, like you could spend a ton of time with a lot of these things, just looking them up. And surprisingly, there is gold to be had. I have found some really interesting things that were honestly super easy to put together, test it out, even just get it cleaned up. But again, it's like I don't really know the category super well yet, so there's a few things I know to look for, but otherwise not so much. Oh, you can see I picked up a Nordic ware just there. I'm going to point it out to you too, I bet. Let's see. Yep, there it is. That's a Christmas one too. So like really nice time of year to find that. Not the best price on it. I think it ended up being $6.99, and honestly, it's about a $25 Nordic wear. So really like not a bad one, just not a great one. And right at probably $10 for shipping, I think people are gonna probably try to get it as cheap as possible. So maybe it's more like $15 to $20. We'll see what it ends up selling for. I do have it listed right now. I think it was a chrysanthemum, something like that. So maybe that's not holiday. I can't remember. So I'm checking out all the pots and pans. Those looked interesting, but right, the field test didn't pass the field test. It was light, so it didn't have that nice quality feel to it. So I didn't even bother with it. Just put it right back. Right. So a lot of these things can have that kind of air of mystery about them, right, where they look like it's going to be something good and then turns out not to be. Oh, I headed back up to the front of the store here and went through the Christmas section, and here is a Mr. Christmas set here. I think it's the Barbershop Quartet. Santa sings with the Barbershop Quartet, something like that. That one's not a bad one. It's worth about $45. I'll pop a comp up on the screen if I haven't already. They did want a little bit of money for that. They wanted $25 for it. Good news is I did have a 20% off coupon, so going to save me about $5 and only going to pay 20 for it. So not going to be like the best flip in the world on a Mr. Christmas, but not bad at all. So get that tested and listed. Make sure you get it up before Christmas here. Otherwise, I don't know. I may list it and just take off best offer and let it sit in my storage unit all the rest of the year because that otherwise it would sit in my storage unit anyway and just not be listed. And hey, if somebody wants to pay me the price I'm looking for in the off season, that's great. But obviously, you're not going to buy it otherwise. I thought this was really interesting. It's a squid like on a submarine, but you could see I tapped the nose of it and it was broken on the nose. So that really stunk because I don't know, it kind of looked like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So I was interested in that. That was the little keyboard for like a Macintosh keyboard that a lot of times they don't come with the keypad on those, so then you can add one to it by having it off to the side. And it didn't look like it was branded; it looked like it was third party, so I ended up just not worrying about it. But going through here, if you guys have seen any of my previous videos, I'm going to be looking for digital cameras. I'm going to be looking for thermostats. I am going to be looking for MP3 players, especially iPods. And who knows what else, right? I have found all sorts of interesting things in here before. Even you guys take a look, if you haven't thought about this before, some of the 35 millimeter cameras, a little bit older there, the film ones, those are starting to go up in value. So this is where you would find that in that electronics section in the bags. You could see I didn't spend a ton of time there today, just not a lot of stuff. And so easy to just kind of scan through everything. I'm also going to be looking for like calculators. So don't forget to look at those as well. So I headed over to like the statue section here, and I thought this was pretty interesting. $10 price tag, it really kind of like made me think like probably not. And sure enough, I found a couple of them selling on eBay for $10. So no big deal. It was easy to do a quick comp on that one and then just keep on keeping on. I've seen a lot of these mugs here lately that look like they have some value. So far, the ones I've looked up didn't have any value, but they're still kind of interesting. And then always taking a look at whatever they've got that are boxed here. Most of the time, almost anything I've comped has been not worth the money. If it's a $5 item, it's worth like $7 or less. I know there are some gems in there, right? There's definitely going to be some stuff you can find that can do well. So I headed around the corner here and I found this mold set, right? So it's like a chocolate mold set from, I think, Wilton. I can't really make it out on my preview here. And maybe I can see it there. Nope, I still can't tell. It looked interesting and it was brand new and sealed. So I was like, all right, that goes in the cart. It ended up not having any value at all. I think it ended up being like a $5 item. So I was surprised. A lot of times my gut does a pretty good job there, but in this case, not so much. And then same thing with oh, I'm not grabbing it yet. You can see it on the left-hand side of the screen there. There is a Sesame Street placemat set there, and it's actually dated like 1981. And again, I thought this was super interesting and thought, hey, there's four of them in here. They're vintage. They're in good shape. I looked them up, and the same set of them had sold for like $3. So again, my gut did not come through for me on this one. Did end up putting those back. But hey, that's kind of the way this game goes, right? Sometimes you think you've struck gold, and not so much, not so much. There's going to be another item later on in this video with a similar story. But yeah, I've actually done really well on this like kitchen adjacent aisle, right? This is sort of like where your knife blocks are going to be, your pitchers are going to be. And I have actually found a lot of Ninja pitchers lately on this aisle, and those have done really well for me. And then I've actually found a couple of other pretty fun kitchen gadgets, right? Just like I was talking about in the other gadget aisle, you can do really well. You just kind of gotta spend some time looking stuff up. Next stop was the book section here. Somebody was looking at the other aisle, so I headed over here to the kids' books. Of course, look for Harry Potter books. What I would tell you is to focus on books 1, 2, and 3 hardcover, and then probably books 5 and 6 on paperback. The rest of them I find way too often, like they've actually gotten kind of common. So don't worry about the rest of them. And then any kind of book series, if you can get many of books in one series, you're probably going to be doing okay. But a lot of times these thrift stores are going to price it at $3.99. It's not a lot of profit at $3.99 because most of the time that's about what the book's going to be worth or more than the book's going to be worth. I spotted something up top here. I will put some comps up for this. I knew immediately what it looked like. It looked like a security system, like I don't know, control box, I guess, right? So definitely wanted to try and get that open and see if the board was inside it or if it was just the case. And I got it open here. Oh, you can't really see it. There were two control pads. There's the AC adapter was in there and the circuit board. There you go. Now you can see it. And they wanted, I believe, $2.99 for this. Um, you guys have actually done a pretty bad job of comping these out, but for sure the keypads are probably going to be worth about $25 to $30 each. The AC adapter is probably going to be worth $10 to $15 each, and the circuit board itself in the case, I don't really know. I haven't looked that one up yet, but it probably will have value. What I'm going to find out is, can I put it all together into a bundle? Or do I need to actually part it out into those four separate components? And honestly, guys, if the circuit board and case end up going back to Savers, that is going to be fine. Right at $3 for those other three items, it's going to net me what? 35, 40, 60, 70 to $80 for just those three pieces. So even if the main box and the circuit board there aren't worth anything, that's going to be okay. All right, so that is going to do it with this Saturday thrift here. We're going to actually head to the following Friday night. So Amber and I were going out to dinner, and we were thinking about doing some thrifting after dinner. And we got to the restaurant, and it was like a 45-minute wait. So we decided let's just head over to the thrift store and do that first. Because of that, I think a lot of this next part of this video is going to be her and I talking about stuff. So I'm going to take a little bit of a risk today, you guys, and let that audio from in store be what we see, or what you guys hear instead. There is going to be one more section of it where I talk, and then I'll do a little recap at the end, and I'll try and continue to put some comps up there. You saw that I was looking at that camera there, and it was totally trashed. so I ended up leaving it behind. And then look, a wild amber appears. So, we find there's a Wii AV cable, right? I almost always pick these up just because a lot of times the bundles won't have them in there. It's always good to have an extra. And I actually ended up giving it to my friend Matt who needed one. And then don't forget to dig, right? Because I didn't even realize underneath this video camera was this little doodad here. And it's actually not bad. I think I ended up paying $5, $6, $7. I can't remember what the price just said, but it's worth about $30. Cars, cars, cars. Lots of baseball cards, huh?
Yeah. It's a magic card.
Just one?
No, a whole deck.
How much are they?
$7.99.
Yikes!
Is this?
That's probably the one I saw last weekend.
How do you know?
Yep, not that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it last week too and looked it up and I was like, wow, there's a ton of them, but so much money. I have no idea.
You'd have to open them and scan them.
These are 2020, so that's 2018. Oh, if it was one big packet of them, there's so many. I think it's probably just too much money, to be honest.
This one doesn't say what it is. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Different number. Instead of a 5, it's a 6.
Okay, you can look up the 6. Actually, that is the right one. That one, if that's 2386, it should be for Xbox One. All right. I think so, Burr. I'm sorry. Dinosaurs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're cute.
She was a Happy Meal toy. This is from that new movie.
New? Oh, it's yeah. There's another horse for Natalie in here. There's actually maybe a couple of them.
These pet shops. I've never seen these.
That's neat.
You should look that up.
Okay, Burr. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe not Tailspin, but one of those. I think he is from Tailspin, though.
Disney.
It's definitely Disney Afternoon, but is it Tailspin? I'm not sure. Bless you.
Thank you.
That's neat. Nothing too exciting. Can't even see what it is. You know?
In the case there?
There's another game there, but I don't know what it is.
In the purple case?
Yep.
I don't know.
This looks interesting too. I want to say that's like the box set to a TV show?
Yes, Charmed.
Charmed, yes.
But it's taped up there.
It is taped up. Well, there's stickers on the side too, so there's a Wii for $50. There's another Wii for $50. PS2 for $35. Another Wii for $50. And then a bunch of Atari games. That's kind of funny. Yep. And they've had those Star Trek figures and the X-Men figures back there for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Lego minifigs just sit there. I think probably they're just a little bit too expensive.
Yeah.
All right, Burr.
Surfet?
Yep. Sony.
Okay.
That's interesting, right?
$5 though.
What do you think about... Yeah, I'm going to scan it.
Yeah, I
I
saw
haven't had
him.
good luck, but what do you think?
It's up to you.
Battery compartment's clean, so... Similar to my last trip here, not a lot of stuff on the pegs. So I want to talk about that the fish, the talking singing fish. I've been burned on these things over and over again, but they're my Achilles heel. I just keep buying them. And sure enough, with this one, it did not work. It went right into the garbage can, you guys, and that really stinks. Uh, yeah, I really need to just like learn my lesson and not buy them anymore. There's another one of those new wave ovens up there. I bought a couple. Bad idea. Is this, can you see if this one's new? Or is it open? I think maybe it's open, but let's pull it out. Because if it's new, that'd be pretty cool. Looks like it's taped on the other side though. I don't know. That's a risk, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's taped over here.
That's, I think, factory tape though, to be honest, right? Because you can't open this. Yeah, see how it's taped across the back? Oh, that's a risk. What do you think? Is it worth the risk if it's brand new? This is what model?
It doesn't work.
It's a model 5000. This is new. This is like a $500 unit.
Prepare to.
Refund?
Yeah.
It's more about if it's new or not.
How much do they want for it?
$40. Yeah, that's why I say it's a risk. I sold one of the tops, and that's it so far.
I know, I've watched the video.
You did, huh? You're cute.
Maybe have this one.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, we do have that one.
I'm going to say somebody put this back so this is in there.
I would agree. Is it new?
No.
No.
It's been open.
Okay. What is that? Some kind of coffee basket?
It's put on the baby carriage.
It's a holder? Cup holder?
Yeah.
If you want to get that, we can have that one. I don't mind that at all.
Comes with a screwdriver.
If you want to get it,
Does
you can
ours
get
come
it.
with a...
No, it does not. What's this here? The red thing.
That's what I was going to.
Dazzle? Is it new?
Looks new.
Not new.
No.
Nope. I have sold that new before, and it sold well.
Traveling mug.
Like heating.
Kitty cat. Oh, kitty cat. Kitty cat.
The software's in here.
Ew.
Did you look under the software? This will prove if it's new or not. Not new.
No.
That's clearly been like undone.
Okay.
Not a factory seal. Otherwise it might be worth picking up, so. This is new. They want. Do you have my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, good, because I was like, I don't have one.
Oh, you have that.
What's that, love?
The Mr. Tea Maker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's worth it, don't you? That's worth like 50, and I can get it for 12?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, so we got to get going, don't we?
Yep.
All right. What else? So that is going to do it this week, you guys. You saw a lot of really good stuff that we picked up this week, and Amber was checking out one more thing there, that little Tide device. We didn't end up buying that. So yeah, thank you for watching today. If you're interested, or if you've enjoyed this content, please do smash that like button. And if you liked this type of content, please do consider subscribing. It really helps me out. If not, we just appreciate you guys watching. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.